In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to use the brush tool and masking to create a piece of line art. And as you can see here, I have a finished product, so I'm going to start over again and show you how to get to this point. Okay, so I'm just going to close this file and start anew. Okay, so I'm going to go to Create New, and I'm going to size my document 8.5 by 11. My background image is more landscape orientation, so I'm going to choose landscape and I'm going to click create, and I'm going to go and open up my background image. So I'm going to go to file, open. I'm going to grab my background image. This is the image that I've chosen for the line art, and here is my image, and I'm just going to bring it into my new canvas like so. Command T to resize it. Okay, and I'm actually going to take this outside of the canvas just because I don't want to distort my image. And then I'll move it around afterwards to place it. So I'm just going to click that. Whoops. Command T. Like so. And I'm going to accept the change. There it is. Now I can move it around. So I'm just going to move it over ever so slightly, just trying to come up with the best possible image. So I think I'll just move it that way a little bit. Okay, so the next step is that I'm going to open up my other image that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. Okay, and I'm going to use this anime character here, and I'm going to click Place. Okay, and here it is. From here I can resize it, so I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit. And I'm going to move it over here to the side so that it has better placement within the composition, like so. And from here I'm going to use the quick selection tool to get my object onto its own layer so that I don't have this background here. So I'm going to use the quick selection tool. I'm going to use select subject. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit because it's missed a few things in the selection. So I just want to include that. And I want to include this. And I'm just checking to see if anything got left behind. I can see here I've got some extra little white bits that I don't want to include in my selection. Okay, so I'm just going to deselect some of that. Okay, I can tidy up the hair in the end. And then the last thing from here, once you've made your selection, is that you're going to click the masking tool, like so. So you can see here, it's now removed that white background. You can see that it's left a little bit of white from the background. I can tidy that up by going to the brush tool and ensuring that this swatch is black. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer and remove some of those white bits. Okay, so I can just clean it up a little bit. So if that happened to you, this is how you would go in and just get rid of any sort of unwanted remaining bits of your selection. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So the next step for this tutorial is you're going to want to create a new layer. So you're going to come down to your layers palette, click create new layer. This is the layer that you're going to be doing all of your line work on. So I'm just going to name this line work. Okay, I'm going to use the color white, and I'm going to be on my brush tool here. How you size your brush is located up in here, and I'm going to turn my hardness all the way up so that I have a really nice hard-edged brush for my line work. Okay, and I'm going to be playing around with the brush size. So the outline of the garment, I'm going to be outlining this. The outline is going to be a little bit thicker than the line work of the details. So I'm just going to increase my brush size here. Okay, you can see here's my brush. Maybe I'll make it just a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to start outlining the clothes, ensuring that I'm on this layer here. So I'm just going to Start drawing it around like so. Okay, I'm going to come over here. And what you're going to be doing after you get all of your line work done is you're going to be erasing the clothing. So what that will allow is will allow for your background to shine through where your line work is. So I'm just doing that like so. Okay, and then I can do the neck. I'm going to switch it over in a second to a smaller brush. Do the neck over here. Okay, so I'm going to decrease the size of my brush now. And I'm going to start doing some of the finer details. Essentially what our goal is here is we want to make sure that when we do erase the clothing that we can still make out what it is. So I'm just trying to pick up some of the texture within the cloak that this guy is wearing. Okay, like so. I've noticed I've just missed a piece of his clothing, so I'm going to bump that back up again. And I'm just going to fill in this little piece right here, like so. Okay, so here I have that. My lines are all on one layer. And the last step is that I'm going to go back onto my mask and I'm going to remove, using the brush tool, the clothing so that what's left is just the lines with the background shining through. Okay, it's like the big reveal. I'm going to make this brush a little bit bigger just so I can get through this faster. Like so. If you accidentally go out of the lines, you can always go back in and correct it afterwards. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. And I'm going to get in here and do that little bit. Okay, accidentally, if I remove too much, say if you slip over into that, down here you can toggle to the white, and the white will add whatever you've accidentally deleted back into your work. So there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out here and you can see the end result. Okay, so when you're done that, you're going to find two other things to place within your composition, and when you're done, you're going to save it as a JPEG. File, save as. JPEG. I'm going to call this line art. And I'm going to save it. Okay, thanks for watching.